AI can generate 3D model in just 1 minute, but it will take you 3 hours to fix it. Try to separate part from the model and everything breaks. So today I'm testing 4 AI tools that promise automatic 3D segmentation. And we're gonna see which one actually works. Segmentation or part generation is not just a feature. It is what separates base 3D model with production ready model. Alright, let's go for it. First in the list is Rodin. Part generation exists here for some time already, and here's how you do that. You basically add an image and you press generate. When the model is created, you have few options to go for. So there's a lot of modify features. You can basically confirm the model and set the target poly count and stuff, or there is a big button in the middle says bank to parts. Well, that's exactly what we need. When you press it, you'll get the preview of suggested parts, something like that. So you can either press generate and the credits will be charged, or you can try again and with different strengths. I tested this parameter. I don't really think it works. It just always gives the random amounts. We're gonna press generate and here's what we have. Here we go. We do have this button here, which will basically explode the model. We can zoom into each part and take a look. Overall, I would say it's actually a good job. All parts are isolated object, right? You can see that it's like a complete part. It's not just a raw cut. Definitely interesting. Let's see some other examples. Here we have another example, that joystick. And also like how it's split. It's not too much parts, right? You definitely can split more parts. I was going with default settings. You can see like the parts are complete, right? So it's like a pieces and they comes together perfectly. Interesting. Let's go for more examples. This one is also quite curious because it generated parts like separately. They are not really connected here. But in terms of parts, that may be even better. Say there are no connectors and that is like split into the half, which is also very interesting. This one, I like this result. Even though it's not perfect in terms of 3D model, the parts are very good. All right, that was Rodin, guys. We're gonna move to the next. But if you want to check it by your own and don't want to buy any subscription and stuff, you can always go to Top 3D AI, and we recently updated it. So now in battle mode and compare, there is low poly and segmentation. It's absolutely for free. There is like blind arena. You can just take a look, choose which one is the best. You can compare them the same way. You can see which provider that if you like the result and learn more about it. And of course, there's a leaderboard and you can see which performs better for segmentation, for low poly, geometry, and overall. Definitely take a look. But we're moving on to Hunyuan 3D. If you go to Chinese version right now, there is like a big banner saying like they recently updated 3D Studio 2 version 1.2, which was actually about the better part segmentation. How lucky we are. To go there, you need to go to the studio and you might need to join the waitlist first. I already did that long time ago. I do have access here. And the good thing here is that they give you daily 30 credits. It is Chinese version. So yeah, you might need to do a translation. I do have a browser extension to do that. And here you basically need to go to component splitting. One thing I forgot to mention about Rodin, that you also can upload your model here. It will be processed and you can split it into the parts. I generated few models through this tab. Also allows like latest model. I selected the model here like this and generated the model. It takes around 2 minutes. Now, when you do have a model created, you basically go to component splitting and you either use the current one, it's already selected, or you can just upload your own. And let's hit the press split. And here is the result. I actually like what Hunyuan does. You can see the parts and we do not have control selection like what part will be created like in Rodin. Instead, it creates the state and there is edit mode where you can basically redefine some areas. So how it works is pretty simple. You can select a part and let's say I'm not happy that this 3 pieces separated. So basically here you can select any part and you have 2 options. You can find dismantling, what's it called, but you basically can split it further. Let's say I selected it and it gives me another brush, so I can paint another part like that, and that will be basically another part to separate, which is actually very good. You don't need to be extremely accurate because it will understand the geometry and then split it. So you can save that, you can control the brush, you can of course have the eraser to adjust it a little bit like that. So now basically I'm saying like I want this part to be split in more parts. Then you press yes and it will remember this choice, but it's not yet generated. Also, you can select two parts with shift and there is option to merge. Also, what you can do with one part, you can select it, basically say that, I mean, some area should be part of this element. So I'm gonna press this, you get the brush. I think I need it smaller. I'm gonna just try to paint this area and you can see I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do the same thing. And you don't need to be 100% accurate. It's quite smart. It will do the job later. Or you can select two parts with shift and merge them. Now, when you're done here, you can save your changes and build the components which will run the process again and will give you a new set of parts. Okay, let's review other parts generated. Here what you see is basically initial part segmentation, as you know now that you can edit it and recreate the parts. I think that's a very useful tool and you can easily extract some parts and combine them later. There are many purposes why you might need it. I think overall not bad, but definitely not usable without editing. Here is the joystick, for example. Yeah, you can see like it separated two buttons. I think it's still impressive like that how fast we're moving. Let's take a look at one more example. Okay, we have parts here, here, here. Okay, the handles actually separated nicely. Also here, by the way, there's a button to trigger the separation mode, so you can take a look like this. Wheels are separated like with parts like that, which is, I think it makes them unusable, right? And here as well, like what's that? Without editing, mostly it's not usable at all. Again, all these examples uploaded to Top3AI, you can examine them yourself without need to go to Hunyuan. The next one in the list is Hitem, and they recently released Segmentation, which is still in beta. So let's review that. What do we see here is that there are beginner's mode and professional mode. What's the difference? Basically, you can upload either model or you can select it from the generation. So when you select the model, here you basically have only three options: low, medium, high, is like details level, and you basically hit run. That one we're gonna review later, but I want to show you another thing which called professional mode. And here's what's gonna happen. So we can generate mask first. We're gonna wait a little bit and you'll see something like this, and you'll have three tools to edit it. Here you can see the instructions explaining each tool and controls. So for example, you can choose splits, select, click on the part. You see the reference on the right, and then you're gonna do two clicks to split it like this. So now there will be two parts generated here. Also, you can use lasso, and then you can actually find more parts like this. You can define more parts, plus confirm, and it will define this as a separate part. And one more tool is to merge. So you select this tool, and I, for example, can merge this part and this part. So quite easy to use. This is still in beta and they're rolling out the improvements. I think the laser tool might need some improvements overall. When you're happy with the result, you basically press generate and it will create the parts. Let's review some results that I got like with automatic segmentation. Here you go. There is no explode mode, but I would say it's quite accurate. Look, I mean, the buttons here are separated nicely. Each button here as well, here and here, and here and here. The problem is that the buttons are not that correct. The only thing that you can do afterwards is to merge some parts. You can basically select few of them and press merge. It will take a little bit and it will return you like the object where these buttons are one object. Here are some more examples. A robot. Sometimes I don't understand like how it defines part. Like let's say this and this, it becomes one part. In some cases, parts are quite good. Definitely needs explode mode here, but that's not a problem because you can go to Top3AI and review that in more convenient way. Here are another examples. Also actually quite a good job, right? Hitem, by the way, known by adding like really good details. So you can see here, the stuff here quite sharp in terms of details. But yeah, I mean, this part separated nicely. This one separated like one more level, which is definitely unneeded. And one last example, some parts again, like this wheel here, here, and here, good. Oh, basically wheel here is also good, but why this part is separate? This base alone, okay. So good try, but we need more post editing here to make it usable. Other than that, it just looks quite random. You might hope there will be good results. They might be actually. And the last one for today's video is Tripo. It also has pod segmentation. It is one of the options what you can do with the model. So you either create a model first, generate it with one option, and when the model is created, you can go to segmentation, and yeah, basically you just press the start segmentation. It takes up to 4 or 5 minutes, and then you get result like this. Quite a lot of parts. Let's see if they actually make sense. Okay, so there are parts. I think the result is okayish, but one thing that I don't like here is that it doesn't really create an object of a part as we saw in any other, like Rodin, Hitem, and Hunyuan. They try to create a complete object, especially Rodin. Like you can see, each object is like a complete entity, closed, watertight. But in Tripo, it's like painting on top of geometry, and then it basically disconnects the geometry like this. You see, it's like just a piece of geometry. I don't think that's really usable, to be honest. The good thing is that you can easily fix that. You can select a part. I can select this part, and I can go paint this area. But again, you basically painting on top of the polygons. It's very easy to miss something. So I think it only works like for some big parts. If you're happy with the result, you save it. There's like option to add new part. Let's say I can add new part here, and it will separate me a new part, right? Again, it will basically select a part of polygons. It will not be a separate object. It will be just detached part, right? So I'll show you. Let's press save and take a look and review the results. Okay, so the saving is complete, and now we see it, right? Yeah, you can detach just the part of polygons. I think they need to rework it. One thing I can say that Tripo was one of the first to release something like that. So maybe they're working on an updated version like V2 for segmentation, and it will be way better. But right now, this is quite updated approach. This is probably the weakest in my opinion. Other than that, Hitem and Rodin quite good to try, and the most controllable is Hunyuan. Alright guys, that was it for today. Let me know in the comments if you want more videos like this, and I really hope you learned something new. Like and subscribe. See you in the next one.